Stop. You haven't subscribed to the channel yet? Subscribe now. We have new stories every day. Now, let's go. When one night changes everything. A month ago, I was a happily married man with a wonderful wife, Jessica, and our beautiful daughter, Lily. Today, I'm sitting alone in an empty apartment in Chicago, wondering how everything fell apart so quickly. I'm 28, Jessica is 25, and we've been together for 6 years. We both have promising careers. I'm an architect, and she's a marketing manager, and we shared the same outlook on life. At least I thought we did. Everything changed the night Jessica went to her company's 10th anniversary party. I was supposed to go with her, but I came down with a nasty cold. You should go without me, I told her, sniffling on the couch under a pile of tissues. Are you sure? She asked, adjusting her earrings in the hallway mirror. I can stay home and make you some chicken soup. Nonsense. I waved her off. You can't miss the big celebration. Just bring me back some of those fancy hors d'oeuvres. She laughed. All right, but don't blame me if I have all the fun without you. Just don't let Steve from accounting talk your ear off, I joked. I've seen glaciers melt faster than his stories. She kissed me on the forehead. I'll be back before you know it. That was the last normal conversation we had. Around midnight, I woke up to the sound of my phone buzzing. It was a text from Jessica. Staying out late, don't wait up. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail. Probably loud music, I muttered, turning over and falling back asleep. The next morning, she walked in around 8 a.m., looking surprisingly fresh. Morning, she chirped, dropping her clutch on the kitchen counter. Morning, I replied, eyeing her warily. How was the party? Oh, the usual. Lots of speeches, too much champagne. I might have overindulged a bit. Yeah, I noticed. Tried calling you last night. Phone died, she said quickly, avoiding my gaze. Sorry about that. I nodded slowly. Right. Later that day, I started receiving messages from her coworkers, people I barely knew. Hey man, rough night for Jess, huh? One said. Another wrote, hope everything's okay at home. Confused and increasingly concerned, I decided to call her friend, Emily, who worked at the same company. Hey, Emily, it's Mark. Oh, hi, Mark, she replied hesitantly. Is everything all right? I'm getting some strange messages about last night's party. She sighed. Look, I don't want to get involved, but you should probably talk to Jessica. Emily, please, I need to know what's going on. There was a long pause. She left the party with someone, a guy named Ryan from her department. I felt a pit forming in my stomach. Left to go where? People said they saw them get into a cab together. That's all I know. Thanks, I whispered, ending the call. That evening, I confronted Jessica as she was preparing dinner. Who's Ryan? I asked casually. She froze, the knife hovering above the cutting board. What do you mean? Ryan from your department, the one you left the party with. Her shoulders tensed. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me, Jess. People saw you. She turned to face me, eyes flashing. So now you're spying on me? Spying? I'm getting unsolicited messages from your coworkers about you leaving with another man. She slammed the knife down. Fine. Yes, I left with Ryan, but nothing happened. I had too much to drink, and he offered to make sure I got home safe. Except you didn't come home. You didn't answer my calls, and you stroll in the next morning like everything's fine. I stayed at a hotel, she snapped. I didn't want to wake you and Lily. Convenient, I said bitterly. She crossed her arms. You're overreacting. Overreacting? My wife disappears with another man, and I'm overreacting. She threw her hands up. I can't talk to you when you're like this. Funny, you didn't seem to have trouble talking to Ryan. I shot back. Grow up. Mark. Maybe I should. Maybe I should realize that this marriage is a joke. Her face paled. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe we need a break. Don't do this, she whispered, tears welling up. Think about Lily. I am thinking about her. She deserves parents who are honest with each other. Jessica sank into a chair, covering her face with her hands. I messed up. I know I did, but it was just one night. It didn't mean anything. Maybe it didn't to you, but it means something to me. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In the following weeks, a cold distance settled between us. Conversations became logistical necessities. Who would pick up Lily from school? Who would handle the groceries? One evening, Jessica approached me cautiously. Can we please talk? I glanced up from the TV. About what? About us. About what happened. I muted the TV. Go ahead. She took a deep breath. I've been feeling disconnected lately. With your long hours and us barely seeing each other, I felt lonely. So your solution was to find comfort in another man? No, I don't know. It was a mistake, a horrible mistake. I shook my head. I can't keep doing this. She knelt in front of me, grabbing my hands. I love you, Mark. I want to fix this. I'll go to counseling. I'll do anything. I pulled my hands away gently. I just need some time. Time won't fix this if we don't work on it together, she pleaded. I think it's best if we separate for a while. Her face crumpled. What about Lily? We'll figure out a way to make it easiest for her. Eventually, we filed for divorce. Explaining it to Lily was the hardest part. Is it because mommy and daddy don't love each other anymore? She asked, her big brown eyes filled with confusion. No, sweetheart, I assured her. We both love you very much. Sometimes adults just need to live apart. Jessica moved into an apartment nearby so we could share custody easily. Our interactions were civil but devoid of warmth. It was like talking to a polite stranger. One day, as I was dropping Lily off at Jessica's place, she said, Daddy, why don't you stay for dinner? Mommy made spaghetti. I hesitated. I don't think that's a good idea, Pumpkin. Jessica appeared at the doorway. Actually, I was about to suggest the same thing. It might be nice for Lily. I looked between them, the hopeful eyes of my daughter and the tentative smile of the woman I once loved. All right, dinner sounds good. As we sat around the table, the atmosphere was awkward but cordial. Lily chatted about school, her friends, and a drawing she'd made of our family. See, it's Mommy, Daddy, and me at the park, she explained, pointing at the crayon figures. That's beautiful, Jessica said softly. Maybe we can go to the park together sometime, Lily suggested. Jessica glanced at me. Maybe. I cleared my throat. We'll see, kiddo. After that evening, Jessica and I started communicating more openly, mainly about co-parenting. One afternoon, she brought up the idea of attending a mediation session to improve our communication for Lily's sake. I think it could help, she said hopefully. Maybe, I conceded, if it's for Lily. At the session, the mediator asked us to express our feelings without blaming each other. Jessica, why don't you start? The mediator suggested. She took a deep breath. I feel regret for the pain I've caused. I miss the partnership we had. I nodded slowly. I feel hurt and betrayed. Trust is hard to rebuild. The mediator guided us through exercises to improve our dialogue. It was uncomfortable but enlightening. Over time, we found a new rhythm, not as a couple, but as co-parents dedicated to Lily's well-being. While the wounds hadn't fully healed, the raw edges had softened. One day, as I watched Lily play on the swings, Jessica approached me. She's growing up so fast, she said. Yeah, she'll be running the world before we know it. We stood in comfortable silence before she spoke again. Thank you for giving this co-parenting thing a real chance. I smiled faintly. It's what's best for her. And for us, maybe, she ventured. I met her gaze, as friends, perhaps. She nodded, accepting the boundary. I'd like that. Psychologist's opinion. Infidelity often stems from underlying issues within a relationship, such as lack of communication, emotional disconnect, or unmet needs. While the act itself is a breach of trust, it's important to address the root causes if both parties are willing to work towards healing. In this case, prioritizing open communication and the well-being of their child allowed the couple to navigate the aftermath more constructively. Therapy or mediation can be valuable tools in rebuilding trust or establishing a healthy co-parenting relationship post-divorce.